Hi, my name is Mike Pfeiffer. I'm the Senior Vice President for Technical Services for the International Code Council. Technical Services is an integral part of ICC's family solution. It's comprised of two departments: the Architectural and Engineering Department, which is responsible for providing services relative to interpretation and plan review, and our Codes and Standards Development Department, which is responsible for the development and update of our I-codes, as well as the development, update, and expansion of our portfolio of ICC standards. The Sustainable Measures Council asked me to provide a brief history on energy and green as it relates to the I-codes. As you can tell, this is a selfie. Please bear with the quality. I'm not a video guy. My background is in structural engineering, so this is kind of foreign for me. On a personal note, I'm recording this at the end of April, and we are right here in Illinois in the midst of COVID-19. So I anticipate this video to be released sometime in mid-May to late May, and it's my hope and prayer that when it is released, this video finds everybody healthy and safe as a result of these significant challenges that the United States has encountered over the past couple of months. Energy and green are two fundamental cornerstones of the ICC family of 15 codes. A lot of people don't realize this, but one of the first energy codes was actually developed in 1977. It was entitled the Code for Energy Conservation in New Building Construction, and it was developed by the three legacy organizations, BOCA, ICBO, and SBCCI, as well as another organization called NICSBICS. NICSBICS stands for the National Conference of States and Building Codes and Standards. They developed, again, in cooperation, the 1977 edition. Following in 1983, CABO, the Council of American Building Officials, took over the maintenance responsibility and retitled the document to the Model Energy Code, often referred to as the MEC. I was actually the secretariat for the MEC back in the day, back in the 1980s, late 80s, as well as into the 1990s. There were 5 editions of the Model Energy Code developed by CABO: the 1983, the 1986, the 1989, the 1992, and the 1995. How these codes were enabled was by a reference from the CABO 1 and 2 Family Dwelling Code. So for each edition of the CABO 1 and 2 Family Dwelling Code, that in turn would reference the applicable edition of the Model Energy Code. Then comes 1995. That's where the first ICC code was published. It was the International Plumbing Code. On the energy front, the 1998 International Energy Conservation Code was the first IECC code developed by ICC. The 98 edition followed by the 2000, which then led to a 3-year cycle of code development, which we're all familiar with, of the IECC from 2000 through 2018. Of note in the development of the IECC were a couple of things. One, in 2006, the 2006 IECC is used by the Department of Energy as its benchmark for determining future energy assessments in the succeeding editions of the Energy Conservation Code. And in 2012, another milestone was achieved where the 2012 IECC was reformatted into 2 separate parts, one being the residential provisions and one being the commercial energy provisions. While the IECC followed a 3-year cycle, there was actually a parallel energy effort that was ongoing, and that was in the International Residential Code. In fact, the 2000 IRC, which was the successor to the 1998 CABO 1 and 2 Family Dwelling Code, this 2000 IRC was the first residential code to include comprehensive energy provisions. As I noted previously, the MEC was enabled via references from the 1 and 2 Family Dwelling Code. Now in Chapter 11 in the 2000 IRC, we found comprehensive energy provisions. This was consistent with the philosophy of the IRC being a standalone comprehensive code to deal with the construction of 1 and 2 family dwellings and townhouses. At this point in this little video, let's switch to green. In 2010, the ICC Board of Directors recognized the need for green to be added to the ICC portfolio of codes, at which time the board created a committee entitled the Sustainable Building Technology Committee. As it turns out, I happen to be the secretary for that effort as well. The effort comprised about a year and a half, during which time 2 drafts were developed and published and posted for comment. This was followed by the first ever International Green Construction Code in 2012. 3 years later, we had the 2015 IGCC. In 2016, we switched gears a bit, and ICC partnered with ASHRAE to develop future editions of the IGCC. How this was going to be accomplished was a 2-pronged process where ICC would be responsible for the administrative provisions, typically Chapter 1 of the IGCC, with the remaining technical provisions being the byproduct of the ASHRAE 189 process, for which then these technical provisions would be meshed with the administrative provisions to produce and publish the next editions of the IGCC, the first of which was the 2018. So what does the future hold? Well, actually, the future is now. ICC is currently publishing the 2021 IECC. We anticipate it to be published in fall, right around October 1. And also, in short order, ICC will be initiating the publication of the 2021 in anticipation of the ASHRAE 189 process completing its work sometime this summer. What do we get from this? Well, basically, it's pretty obvious. When you go from 1977 to the year 2021, the ICC has seen quite a evolution, if you will, in the development of energy codes, and at the forefront when it comes to green in terms of the first ever International Green Construction Code. So, as the person responsible for ICC code development, I would encourage you all to be actively engaged in the code development process. Keep in mind, after all, the 2022 Group B code change cycle is right around the corner. Code change proposals are due on January 10th of 2022. So in closing, please stay safe and thank you for your time.
Join us tomorrow for the next edition in the Sustainability Membership Council's video series, Voices from Building Safety Month.